Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aklevi. We are in the diaspora transition. A whole lot of diasporas are moving to Ghana and also Africa as well. Well, we have our father, we have our grandfather, we have an uncle over here that is also in Africa, Ghana precisely. He has a whole lot to share with us. So maybe I have to let him introduce himself to us, then we continue the conversation. Baba,
Yo,
can you
Clifford.
just introduce yourself to my audience and also my viewers?
Well, giving thanks and praises to the Most High, the one, the ever living, ever giving, the all source of life, without whom we would have nothing and with whom we have all. Blessed to be with you today. I am known as Baba Ra'il. I am a Moorish American griot by profession, but here I am a retired Moorish American griot. That is, I'm not doing much work as a teaching artist and arts education consultant, and that line of work, which is what I do. I've been here in Ghana some 8 years now, and
Wow.
enjoying it. Um, it's a wonderful experience. Um, Fresh food year round. Pretty much shorts and sandals year round.
Right.
So for some of us coming from those places where it's a little more inclement weather, no snow shovel. But Baba Ra'il, that's who I am. That's my professional name, and that's what I can tell you. What else? What else
Right.
should I say?
Baba, what really inspired you to come to Ghana, and what really also inspired you? We have so many African countries we have so many countries in Africa, but what really inspired you to also choose Ghana as your destination?
Well, a couple of things, I guess. First, I have people here. My brother Baba Kamal is no longer with us, but he built his house over in uh, Sasabe area, over in Greater Accra region. And so he was always coming back and forth to the U.S. and saying, come. But in 2000, he moved in 2003, around there. But in 2000, was it 2000? Yeah, it was year 2000. Uh, Mayor C. Jack Ellis, Mayor Ellis at that time was the mayor of Macon, Georgia, where I was residing. And so I saw Mayor Ellis one day on the street and said, "Oh, Baba, I just got back from Elmina. We have a sister city.
Wow.
I need a sister city committee to help me put a committee together." So we put a committee together, and every March, Macon, Georgia has a festival they call the Cherry Blossom Festival.
Okay.
So Mayor Ellis invited Nana Otto Arthur, who at that time was DCE, KEEA.
Yeah.
And Nana Arthur came. Nana Otto came over, so we hosted Nana Arthur,
Yeah.
and he came back the next year. So when 2005, I came my first trip. So I came, contacted Nana Otto, and so that was sort of an inroad,
Right.
because having met him, it was easy to come to Ghana. And as I said, I knew some other people who were already in Ghana. So after visiting, um, it's as good a place as any, better than most. And at the root of all that was having grown up and lived in the United States of America, or I could call it the United Snakes of America,
Right.
according to the governance and the corporate situation that's going on that's running the country. So that's pretty much how I ended up. Baba Kamal, Nana Ato, here I am.
Finally, when you came to Ghana in the year 2005, the first person you met was a great time politician that you also met in Ghana. But tell me, coming to Ghana for the first time, how does the experience feel? Like, how did you feel coming to Ghana in the year 2005, living in Ghana for almost about 8 years now?
Well, um, comfortable, comfortable, very comfortable. The climate and the fresh food. Fresh food. I like to eat off the trees. So it's plenty of food growing here all the time, and it's fresh. So I felt quite comfortable when I got here the first time. Stayed in Lashabi,
Yeah, that's Accra.
Tema,
Yeah.
and so I got to see just the close interaction of the Accra community,
Yeah.
and I was able to appreciate just how life is. You know, you can stand on your portico or your porch there, and dinner will pass you by. So on carrots here and lettuce there, whatever else you need. So I was quite comfortable, quite comfortable when I got here. Quite happy to be here.
You know, as you being a retiree coming to Africa as well, did you had a perception of you coming to enjoy yourself in Africa, or maybe you had a perception to just come and stay?
Both. Well, why stay if you're not going to enjoy yourself? Both. You know, I had the perception to come and stay after I came back in 2007 during the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
But I was only here for 3 weeks that time. The first time I was here about 12 weeks. So I got a good feel for Accra, the central region. And so when I came back 2007 for the 50th anniversary, I was just here for 3 weeks. So I was mainly in the Accra area, but I stayed with Baba Kamal. He was just building his house at that time. So just the whole experience, um, quite comfortable and happy to be here. I come to stay and I come to enjoy.
Well, but what really, maybe what finally came into your mind that you should stay in Ghana since you've been coming to Ghana and then going back to America? What actually gingers you to stay permanently in Ghana?
The United States.
Why?
Hmm.
Why United
Why?
States? Yeah.
um, the United States is not what it's portrayed to be on the television, but if you pay attention to the news, you see how they kill our people over there relentlessly and almost with impunity. What we see going on in Palestine today in Gaza is a microcosm of what's been happening for centuries to our people in the United States. So the system of government, although the system of government, yes, the corporate system of government, because the United States, the jure government, the original government under the Constitution,
Right.
has a lot of benefit for us, and we have input into that. But the corporate government that is running the country now is a de facto government. So everything there is slanted to those who appear to be pale-skinned Europeans. So some people call them white,
Yeah.
but I don't use that term because I use that term for myself, white. I'm classified as a white person lawfully and legally. But anyway, so just life in the U.S., just the degradation that our people go through, just the systematic racism, the systematic um, oppression and repression, the lack of support in terms of really
Right.
uplifting work and activity to bring our community forward, and just the fact that overall um, they were supposed to compensate us, not reparations now,
Great.
coming out of the Civil War. There was law passed for us to be compensated, restored to our nationality, restored to our independence as a nation, all that, and none of that has taken place. So for me at that point, um, I was tired of the cold. I was tired of shoveling snow. In Macon, Georgia, it wasn't much snow to shovel.
Yeah.
But still, the weather is much more to my liking here. And it's fresh mango, pineapple, watermelon,
That's the fruits,
avocado.
right?
You see, it's fresh. So all year round, some of them, and others are seasonal. But so was life in the United States. I mean, I can't explain it. You have to go there and be subject to the ridicule and the maltreatment, the mistreatment that's placed upon so-called black people. So I'm able to leave that, and here I am.
Well, I've never been to United States of America. Maybe if somebody is watching me and want to sponsor me to go there for a while to study how things are over there, fine, I'm ready for movements or maybe anything of that. If somebody wants to sponsor me, anything of that. But Baba, you were saying about racism in America. Have you ever felt that experience before, as you are saying?
Have I felt
Yes. Have you?
racism
Yes. Have you
in the United
experienced?
States?
Yes. Have you experienced it before?
Please, you're born in the middle of it. How can you not? You're
What
born in the middle of it. How
can
can
you
you
share
not?
me? Can you
What do you
share with us
mean?
the experience
Well,
that you had
okay.
so
Let's
far?
start
All right.
even with my birth. I'm born in 1949.
Right.
1949. My parents were sharecroppers. That is, they lived in Georgia on a piece of land that some European controlled and kept them hostage by the fact that when they did the work, they would always come up short. If they baled so many cotton, they would always end up owing at the end of the year, so that they never cut even, never broke even. So that's systematic right there.
Right.
When I'm 4 years old, I'm living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, about 4 years old. No European, older European boy, wasn't no little European boy. If I'm four, he had to be double my age, 8, 9 years old. He walked by, said something, punched me in the stomach, bam, and ran off. I
For
didn't
no
understand what
reason.
that was. For what reason? What do you think? What do you think?
So like all these things are happening in America, but per my research,
Let me give you some of
yeah.
it. When I was 14 in my 15th year of life, uh, I was swimming. Um, I've been swimming some years, but our swim team from West Philadelphia, YMCA, in the season of 63-64, we took the citywide championships for swimming. That is, we met every other YMCA in the league, and we handed a loss to every YMCA. We didn't have a loss. So we were the city champions for swimming 1964,
Right.
1963-64. So our coach, after we won, of course, came and told us, hey, we're going to the regionals. Okay. We hadn't even thought about that, but we went to the regionals, which was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And if they go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, well, when we got to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we stepped into the pool area, I still see those Europeans' faces today when they saw this team of all chocolate brothers, Asiatic brothers, so-called African or so-called black-skinned brothers
Right.
coming into their pool, because their children would have to get in the pool with us, which they didn't want. But if they didn't swim, we would win the meet. So we swam, and we lost. We lost miserably. But what happened after that? Within I don't know, a couple months, maybe less. Our coaches came to us and told us they were being transferred. Okay, they had been with us 3 years and worked us 3 years to get us to the championship. 60, the first year, 62, we'll just say,
Yeah.
we lost everything. Second year, 63, we won half. Third year, 64, we took the championship.
Wow.
So they came and told us they were leaving. And they transferred them, but they didn't give us any new coaches. So in effect, they took our championship and put it back on the block and did not allow us to defend our championship as the so-called, they would say, all black swim team
Yeah.
from West Philadelphia. A few years later, because I stopped swimming, I moved into gymnastics. And so at West Philadelphia High School, spring of 67, 3 years later, we compete for the gymnastic championship. My team, again, a team of all brothers. Ain't no, no, we're all brothers, gymnasts in the late '60s. That's what we did. We were good. It got me into Temple University. We were good. So we had the gym meet, and we would go down the mat, pop, 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 brr, pop, 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 brr, pop, brr, pow. They would go down the mat, flip, flop, boom, flip, flop, flip, flop, and get a higher score. So we got pencil whipped the second time because there were two European judges and one brother.
Right.
and they were European, and we competed against Lincoln High School, which had the championship at that time. So we got pencil whipped in the gym meet. They did not let us win that championship, although we won that championship. So that's two examples right there, just of racism in the United States that I experienced as a young person.
Wow.
And there's more, but let's just go with
Well,
that.
but Baba, per my research, maybe if I'm wrong, maybe you can correct me. But per my research about the Georgia states per se in America, I think the black people are more than the white people. So
That's
how can
that's the fact all over America. But go ahead, excuse me.
yeah? So how come this black people are being overshadowed or maybe overshadowed by these white people that are few in the states?
Okay, well, I'm going to go way back. You see, although people see me, I do not identify myself as black.
Right.
I have a nationality. My nationality is Moorish American. It was there. Because I have citizenship here, I'm now Moorish Ghanaian.
Yeah,
But descendant of Moroccans,
that's right.
born in America, Moorish. So the fact of the matter is that in the ancient days, we hear about the God people walking from the Holy Lands
Right.
and settling in the area that we know now as Accra. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we were among those people that migrated in those ancient days, but we didn't stop in Accra. We walked across the land that existed to what we know now as North, South, and Central America and inhabited that land in ancient days.
Right.
In the early 1700s, you know, nothing happens without complicity from us. So in the early 1700s, some of our people, and understand this, and what I'm saying is documented, you can go find it.
Right.
Of the 35 persons who wrote the United States Constitution, 20 of them, excuse me, of the 55, 35 of them look like us, and 20 were looking like the European people who wrote the United States Constitution.
White people, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I told you I'm white.
Yeah.
So white has nothing to do with the complexion of your
Right.
skin. It has nothing.
I
It's
understand.
status.
Yes.
It's status. Black and
Yes.
white is status.
Yes.
When you're black, you're not a citizen. Someone owns you in the United States. If you're
Right.
black, African American, Negro, colored, any of those terms, they indicate that you are owned by someone. And how do we know that's a fact? Because we still carry their names, whether it's Johnson, Jenkins, whatever, we carry their names still, which shows that there's some ownership happening with these people, whether we like it or not.
Right.
Anyway, so knowing that we established this Constitution is one thing. Knowing that our ancestors were in that land when Columbus showed up, we were already there. When Columbus' granddaddy was being born, we were already there. And now we have some accounts, and then you can go back and check all the records with the Olmecs and all that, and you'll see the African presence, what they call the African presence, in the Western Hemisphere thousands of years before the Europeans discovered it.
Right.
So part of the problem is we outnumber them because that's our land. Many of us were not brought from over here to over there. Why would you bring people when you have a body of people? You take away their nationality, you take away their knowledge of self, you separate their children, and which is what they do with the British schools and what they call them, the various schools, the Indian schools, all over the place. They will go in and separate the children and put them in a school.
The whites will be separately, the blacks will be.
Well, they're high. So they got you in the school from your parents. You separate you from your parents. So then they indoctrinate you and enculturate you as they want you to think. And that's the problem. So we have a majority of so-called black people, Moorish people, who have a heritage in what we know as North, South, and Central America, an ancient heritage in North, South, and Central America, who are ignorant of their heritage in North, South, Central America.
Right.
Most of them think they came from West Africa. I've been to the Horse Elmina. I lived over there for a while, and I've been here at Cape Coast. I've been both these dungeons, and something happened in those dungeons. But in my mind, the people in these dungeons went to Europe, went around to East Africa, and maybe to the East, to the Arab states, etc. Maybe some went across. But we know that there was already a population of people there in the what's called the United States now, North, South, and Central America, who have lost their minds, don't know who they are. So the minority looks like a majority because they have everything and they project everything. But that's why you see a majority of people being subjugated by a minority of people.
Baba, you've said so many things, and it's so educative. But I still want to ask you several questions. I know most diasporas, most African Americans, whenever they are coming to Ghana, they come to heal themselves and so forth. So you coming to Ghana, maybe you might have a motive coming to Ghana. What is basically your motive apart from even staying in Ghana or maybe living in Ghana?
That's my motive. I mean, that's my motive. I'm tired. I was tired of living in an oppressive state, degrading state, in a government situation which is striving to maintain my people in a downtrodden state. And so my purpose coming to Ghana was just that, to live a different life, a freer life, and then whatever I can contribute, I share, I contribute. But that was my purpose, is to come, move out of that, and give myself some sense of normal life, which is what we're able to, some sense, but we're able to get some balance on this side that we're not able to get on that side. When I first get here the first time, the first night, we get in about 9 o'clock or get out the airport somewhere, it was dark. So I remember we got in the taxi and we headed to Lashivi.
Yeah.
And I saw all these blue lights in the traffic, all these blue lights. And so my first thought was, and I probably asked, well, why are there so many police here? Because in the United States, the blue light is police.
Yeah.
Here, the blue light is the taxi.
Right.
Yeah. So when I hit the street and I see all these blue lights at night, I can't see that these are taxis. I just see blue lights.
You were really scared.
I won't say I was scared, but I was surprised. I won't say I was scared because I wasn't scared of the police over there. So, but I was surprised to see that many police, what I thought was police.
Yeah.
So the next day or so, when I found out the blue lights is taxi, I had to laugh at myself. But that's the programming the repressive programming, and how it affected me even when I got here.
The mindset.
Yeah.
So how did you overcome this kind of negative mindset? Let me put it in quotes. You brought from America to Ghana. How did you overcome?
Well, I overcame it over there, most of it. I started overcoming it over there in my 21st year of life when I proclaimed my nationality as a Moorish American, understanding that I'm not Negro, Black, and colored. I'm not African American. Understanding that emphatically, and correcting my records and putting documents in place that substantiate that fact, and birth, etc. All these records. So I had already begun. So by the time I got here, I was 40 years into my own self-healing and my self-development. So when I got here, I was at another level of that impact there. Although it had its relevance when I got here the first time, and I was walking through the shops over there at the dungeon in the courtyard, Cape Coast Dungeon. Right. We don't call it a castle because our people weren't in the castle; they were in the dungeon. So when I went through the shops, I played various musical instruments, whatever it was, balafon, whatever it was. I played instruments, and so one young brother, student at the time, said, "How did you learn to play all that?" I told him it's in the genes, and I've always been a drummer, so I've always drummed all my life, but it's in the genes. So this young man, he's attracted, so we walked.
Right. So
when we were walking, he said, I think we went to the kitchen right there at the castle. But when we were walking, he grabbed my hand.
This way.
And we're walking. Well, the spirit said, "Be quiet." And I just let him have the hand. The very next day, somebody says to me, when people respect you here, men hold your hand. If a man respects you, he holds your hand. He'll walk with you down the street with your hand, hand in hand. Men and women, if they like you, they hold your hand. But my programming from over there said if a man goes in my hand, it said,
LGBT.
well, I'll just say homosexual. I don't have all these letters. I got one word for all of it.
Yeah.
So, but the spirit was kind to me and told me be cool. I didn't say anything to them. And the next day, it came to light. This is what this was about.
Right.
So, and there was another instance when I asked someone to bring me something. I was sitting somewhere and asked to bring something, and the daughter heard me, and she sort of sauntered off to do whatever she was going to do. And I wanted the European programming.
Yeah.
Came up because I'm saying, well, I asked her to do something. She went off over there, but her walk, I realized something. The walk she was doing, and she was just walking as we walk here in Ghana. People don't rush, don't rush.
Right.
They walk, take their time. But it's the same walk that we as Asiatics, as brothers and sisters, so-called black people over there, if you get on our nerves and you try to get us to do something, we slow down.
Right.
We walk slow, just
Right.
like she was walking. So that was on one trip, the first trip here, both those things happened to show me how deep that European psychology was within me, even after 35 or so years of studying self and developing self. So the European psychology that we're born into sticks with us. So it takes time. I would even tell my brothers and sisters, come here, but come here able to sit back for 1 year, at least 1 year. Now it says 2 years, but I said at least 1 year, be able to take care of yourself so you can sit back, get a pace of what's going on, and then figure out how to interact. Most of my people come ready to hit the ground, and we hit the ground running at a pace over there, and Ghana is moving at a pace over here.
Right.
So we're running like this, and Ghana's moving like this.
Slowly.
Ah,
Yeah.
you have a problem.
Yes.
You have a problem because you're looking for something that's not here. So one word to my people is, when you come, if you can, spend a year and do nothing except observe, pay attention, and then figure out how to move.
But we also spoke things about America as well. But you know, in any country, there is this negative aspect of it and also a positive aspect of it. You being in Ghana for the past 8 years now, what do you think we should learn from America to also develop our continent or maybe our country
Nothing.
as well?
Nothing. You have everything here. You just have to develop yourselves. That's the problem. We Ghana and the other African nations are caught into this European system of life. That's why instead of using the gold that we have here, the mineral resources we have here to finance what we want to do, we sell the resources off raw, buy them back, value added, and then make loans to do business and find ourselves in debt. So we shouldn't do anything that these people are doing. We should figure out ways for us to manifest and use what the Most High has given us here. They don't have the gold, the bauxite. They don't have the diamonds. They don't have it like that over there. They don't have it. But and I'm speaking of Europe and the Western world, period. They don't have it. So we have to better utilize that which we have here. How do we take gold and use gold to build our infrastructure instead of, or the industry, instead of asking some foreign company to come in and build a plant for us? The plant's not ours, it's theirs. And when they make the money, they take the money and take it back out the country.
Right.
And the Ghanaian people are still the ones suffering. So I don't think we should do anything. If you go there to get education, I got education there. I'm grateful for the education I got there. I'm grateful for the education, both formal education, informal education that I got growing up in that environment, as well as the work education I got working in the field of sales from high school on up. I got some very good education. It rounded me out to move through the world. So if you're going for education, go for the education, but figure out how to bring that back and how to tap what we have here already and use it instead of placing ourselves in indebtedness. Why should you get whatever loan when you can leverage your gold to get whatever you want? It's my mind. Go ahead.
Robert, you spoke as you were saying something. You spoke something about LGBT. You made an example about it. what is your say, or maybe what is your opinion about this Western people, or maybe this Western cultures being implementing LGBT
To each them
culture
own.
to
To
Africa?
each them own. To each them own. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But well, let's ask a question. Are they enforcing it on Saudi Arabia?
No,
Why not?
I don't know.
Because Saudi Arabia is not begging them for money. Saudi Arabia is using their resources to build themselves so that they're an equal partner in the world. African nations are always begging for money. Oh, let us, we hear something about Ghana beyond aid, but at the same time you go to the IMF.
Right.
Ghana beyond aid. Let's go to the IMF. So that dichotomy, we can't exist in a dichotomy like that. Either you're going to be Ghana beyond aid and do the things to bring yourself beyond aid, or you're going to be subject to these people. So right now, that's what's going on because you're begging. Ghana is begging. African countries are begging. President Biden earlier this year invited all these African countries in and told them he's going to give them each $1 billion to do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
But when you take the $1 billion, now you hear the ambassadors say, we don't want you to pass the law like this. We want you to do it this way. So when you take the money, they see themselves as having bought you. And in a way, they're correct. As our brother leader, the brother Reverend Hosea Williams said, he said he was unbought and unbossed. If you didn't buy him, you couldn't boss him. So he was unbought and unbossed, and our leaders here had to be that same way, unbought and unbossed.
Baba, tell me, I need to ask you my final three questions, then maybe we'll wrap up because I know you are in a hurry to move to another place too. My first question that I want to ask you was, as you were about to move permanently to Ghana, what was your budget?
What was my
Your budget?
budget?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put it this thing in a metaphorical way. I guess it's a metaphor. Maybe it's an allegory. I'm not sure which it is. But I've all the days I've had in my life.
Yeah.
I've never seemed to have much more money than the day I was born.
Wow.
Huh? Never seemed to have much money. I always had flow. I'm not saying I didn't have flow. I did well in my way for myself. But my budget, is what I could bring from a pension fund
Yeah.
to live,
So that was how
which
much?
was not big.
So approximately how much?
Approximately how much?
Yeah.
Let's just say not 1,500 a month US.
Yeah. So as you were coming to Ghana, maybe you might have a specific amount that you budgeted for.
No,
maybe 40,000, maybe 30,000.
I did not. When it was time to go, I came, and the rest I worked. What I have, and I work with it. No, I didn't. I'm saying I didn't have money like that. I've always had a little more than the day I was born. I'll say it again. Right now, relative to the money I have, it's not that much more than the day I was born.
Well,
okay.
My final two questions that I want to ask.
But I'm blessed to have pockets so I can put some in if it comes. Go ahead.
My final two questions that I want to ask you is kind of complicated a bit, but I need to ask you. Now, I will classify you as a Ghanaian because you living in Ghana for the past 8 years. I will classify you as a Ghanaian now. So you know the culture, you know the system, you know their food and everything. So you being in Ghana now, what is your best food ever? Local food that you've tasted so far in Ghana, and can you also prepare that?
I can prepare it my way. Contumely. Contumely.
Yeah.
Understand, when in Ghana, when word food is used, again, I was in Accra, and I just gotten here, and I went to his guest house to eat, and so the young man, I said, "Oh, do you have groundnut soup?" He said, "Oh yeah, we have groundnut soup." I said, "Okay, I want a bowl of groundnut soup." He said, "Don't you want any food?" I said, "Isn't the soup food?" He said, "No, the soup is not food." I said, "Well, what's the food?" And he calls out all the starches. the kenke, the banku,
Yeah,
all the starches,
the
the
fufu.
kokote,
Yeah.
the fufu, all the starches are food. So I said, no, I don't want any food. Then just give me the soup. And in that moment, he said, well, do you want chicken or fish? I said, I don't want either. He said, oh, no, it's not possible, not possible. So, well, give me a piece of tuna. So we put tuna in it, and I was able to have my soup. So my favorite dish, food, what I call food,
Yeah.
contumely.
Mm-hmm.
The starches are all right, but none of them I don't have as necessarily as favorite.
Right.
But in terms of a dish, my savouriest dish if I go anywhere is contumely, and the second one is light soup. I don't fix light soup, and I stir fry the contumely if I'm gonna. I don't make contumely like they make it here. I'll end up sauteing vegetables and cut it in and
Mm-hmm.
turn it in until
Yeah.
it cooks down,
Yeah.
and I'm happy.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, Baba, I know you're in a hurry. Your final words to your friends, your family that are also watching my YouTube channel.
mm. Well, living in Ghana, I would say living in Africa may not be for everyone. It takes patience because we have a leadership on the continent that is confused or has following that which is best for them. I don't know. So come prepared to share your best, to give your best, and to be patient with yourself and the community till you adjust. So take that year, like I said, at least a year, so that you can sit back and do nothing, and all will be well. Come visit. Mango season starts in March. Avocados too. Come on over.
Right.
We'll see you there. Peace.
Baba is now trying to be a farmer because he has studied the economy, he has studied the system and so forth in Ghana. So what are you waiting for? You need to move to Ghana. At least if you don't want to move, just visit Ghana, experience it yourself. Don't let anybody write your culture or anything for you. You already know your story. Just write your story by what it is. So guys, if you are watching me, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. I guess, Baba, you have a social media if somebody wants to follow you.
No, I don't.
Well, Baba doesn't do social media, so.
But I have a garden.
Okay. So then maybe if you want to come to Ghana, just come to Ghana. You can also visit Baba at the garden and so forth. So guys, as you are watching, kindly subscribe to our channel and keep hitting the subscribe button too. Bye bye.
Peace. So,
Baba.
yo,
We did it.
love you, Joe.
Yes.